Now that I've transitioned from playing to coaching, I figured it was time to make this video. I've seen way too many athletes struggle with performance anxiety, and I wanted to share how I completely overcame it. And honestly, anyone can benefit from what I'm about to share because it's so powerful. Not just athletes. Make sure you watch till the end because I 100% guarantee you that you will benefit like crazy from what I'm about to share with you, especially the strategy that I use to completely overcome performance anxiety and just anxiety in general. First, the mentality shift that I made was that I started playing to win instead of playing not to lose. There's a distinction there. So, this all started when I realized that I was a completely different player in a game than I was in practice. And I started to analyze why this was happening. And then I realized that I wasn't playing as free in the game as I was in practice. I would put so much importance on a game that I would be hypercritical of myself. I would be hyper aware of my mistakes. I would want to be super perfect. I'd be timid. I'd be scared to mess up. I'd feel like everyone was watching me. I was playing not to lose. I was playing it safe. But then a realization hit me. What is the worst possible thing that could happen? The worst possible outcome is dying. When it hit me that I wouldn't die if I messed up, I realized that I could take every other consequence and I'd survive. The consequences of you messing up aren't that bad. We think that everyone is paying attention to us. We think it's the end of the world. We think that everyone cares. In reality, we put too much emphasis on our mistakes, but no one is paying that much attention to us. Everyone is focusing on their own mistakes. I noticed that when I played timid, I actually messed up more. And I realized that I would get into a game and I would be stiff, I would be tense. So I started to consciously loosen myself up during a game. I had to remind myself to play aggressive and take risks. Then my true skills started to come through during the game and I started to shine. I started playing to win instead of playing not to lose. This applies to sports, but also the game of life. Fear of failure holds us back from being our full self. But the beautiful thing is, if you fail, nothing really bad happens. Failure is only learning. The more you're willing to fail and the faster you're willing to fail, get out of your comfort zone, take risks, push your boundaries, the more successful you'll be. The quicker you'll learn, the quicker you'll expand your capabilities. And that's in sports and also everything in life. So when I was like 18 or 19, I hit a breaking point. I was struggling so bad with performance anxiety, and I realized that it was trickling into other areas of my life. And then I was depressed because I wasn't playing well. I wasn't showing up in life how I wanted to show up. So I went searching for solutions. And thank God I found meditation. Everyone, especially if you are younger, should look into meditation ASAP. The quicker you start doing it, the less likely it is that you'll get on anxiety and depression medication. So, what is meditation? Simplify it. Meditation is bringing your focus back to the present moment, bringing your focus back to what's happening right now. Now, to bring your focus back to the present moment, you need a point of focus to constantly return to, and that's your breath. When I would meditate, I would simply just focus on my breath. That's it. And when I noticed my focus starting to drift into the future or worrying about something that wasn't happening right at this moment, I would just return my focus back to my breathing. Your mind can only focus on one thing at a time. And with practice, you can learn how to control it. I can't even explain how this thing, seemingly so simple, can completely transform your life. When you gain control over your mind, you literally can control your life how you want. Let that sink in for a little bit. The beautiful thing is that if you are focused on the moment happening right now, it is impossible to be stressed or worried about the future. It's impossible to be replaying the past. In the world of meditation, we refer to this as recentering yourself. Your center is the headspace where your emotions are calm. Your mind is quiet. The chatter in your mind decreases. You can return to the center when you feel like you're not yourself. And when you're anxious or when you're depressed or when you're caught in fear, that is not your true self. And if you want to get in the actual science of what is happening when you're anxious, if you were to measure the brain activity of someone who is very anxious or very fearful, that person's brain waves would be very, very chaotic. That is a state that we call beta. And this state is where the fight or flight response is activated. Your mind is telling you that something is wrong, there's danger in your environment. But we're really just in a game. It's not that serious. We're not in danger. We're not going to die. So when you recenter yourself, find your center, your mind enters a state that's called alpha, where your brain waves slow down. When you are able to manipulate your brainwave state at will, that's when you start to control your reality. Let's say before the game even starts, you get nervous. You start worrying about all the bad outcomes that could happen, everything that you can mess up, and the nervousness starts to compound. Now you go into the game super timid. When I realized that I could train myself, almost trick myself, to bring my focus back into the present moment and pretty much quiet my mind, I got obsessed with it. I found a solution to my anxiety not just in sports, but in life. I would meditate during the day before a game. I would meditate on the bus. I would meditate in warm ups. During the game, I'd be able to notice when I felt anxious, consciously bring my focus back to my breath. And over time, I found myself being able to control my mind without really having to try. And it felt so good to be finally free of the restraints that I was putting on myself. Finally got out of my own way and started to truly unlock my potential. And I loved playing the game again. And I loved living life more. In college, my friend Joe and I were on the same wave, and we were both working on staying in the present moment during games. We called it the zone, this headspace that we entered where our mind was so quiet that it almost felt like things were happening effortlessly. He would look at me during a game and be like, I'm in the zone, bro. Are you? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm zoning right now. And we were always so amazed at how fast time went by. We'd be playing for like an hour and a half, and it felt like only 5 minutes because we weren't consciously operating. Our conscious mind, the part of us that is always trying to keep us safe, but really holds us back through fear and worry, was shut off. We were unconsciously just flowing naturally out there. We didn't even have to think about what we were doing. The subconscious mind is a whole other wormhole that I could go down, but if you're interested in that, go check out my other videos. So I really hope you benefited from this. Let me know in the comments if you did, or give the video a like. If you're interested in more empowering content, give me a subscribe and support the channel. Peace.